Hi guys, wee Bob here. So I said yesterday I did a vlog in the forest and I was going to talk about questions, and I've had a couple of responses to the video. Art by Galen's responded by saying to me he's just seen my face. Now I have done vlogs in the past, so if you want to see my face more, which I wouldn't suggest, go back and look at those videos. But what I'm going to try and do is get a wee bit of a backlog of videos if I possibly can, and that means I can't be time sensitive. So if I'm talking about something in the news, it's not really going to work, because by the time you actually see this video it's going to be further on. Anyway, I drive into work as per normal, and we'll just take the scenic route today rather than going up onto the bypass. I have recorded a few vlogs which you guys again haven't seen. There's many videos over the years I've recorded that you guys haven't seen, and it's usually just because it is time sensitive. It's usually I'm talking about my own life, and I'm not talking about the good thing about nostalgia, the good thing about looking at history and looking at back at the 80s is that you don't actually have to worry about time moving on, and it will always remain relevant because you're talking, say, like listening to anything about history, or it's not to do with current events that you might be giving your opinion on, and therefore I will continue. So anyway, it was actually really nice to get back to YouTube over the weekend. It was lovely to put a video up that wasn't just me scribbling art and trying to talk, and I felt the flow coming back. I felt enjoyment out of it, relaxation out of it, and this software thing I've been working on just has literally just has taken over my life, and then I just haven't been able to get away from it and enjoy just talking back on YouTube again. And it's really lovely to just come back and see the likes of Swifto commenting on my video. And honestly, mate, don't worry about offending me. I'm not easily offended, and I'm not really, I'm not one who gets offended in any way, shape or form. I might get hot under the collar, like I said, about a question or somebody's opinion about something, and hot under the collar is probably not the right term. It's more just that passionate might be a better way of putting it. I get passionate about particular people's responses. Now, anyway, leave questions if you want. I won't be offended at all. I say that now until you say something really, really bad to me and I cry in the corner for 4 hours. But nostalgic memories of artwork was what I started discussing in my wee forest walk yesterday, and I thought I'd continue that on in the car on the way to work. Again, it's not too far to my work, so I won't be talking for too long. But I had mentioned about getting the game. So as a kid you would get the magazine. There was no internet as I was a kid. There was no internet, didn't have a home computer as in a PC, because did they exist then? I guess they did in a kind of more work environment, but certainly not from a personal computer point of view. So I had my Spectrum. Now I don't remember getting my Spectrum. The Spectrum didn't exist in the US as far as I'm aware. The Spectrum was similar to a Commodore 64, but the graphics weren't quite the same. Go on YouTube, some specky stuff if you're interested in seeing what the graphics look like on those computers. But yeah, I used to have my Spectrum. I had older brothers, older sister, and I'm presuming that it was them that got the Spectrum for Christmas, or my dad bought it. I honestly don't recall how we got a Spectrum in the first place, but with these types of systems you couldn't download games. Just downloading was a non-existent thing then, and you would go to the shop to buy a game. And like I was saying yesterday, it used to be you would get in the car and I'm trying to think some examples of really cool covers. The one that sticks in my mind for some weird reason is Whizball, and I remember it being like a wee round green monster guy. And I don't know this because I've been looking at a lot of cover art recently, that one sticks in my head. Lord of the Rings definitely does, and I definitely mentioned that in the past. Lord of the Rings was like a big massive box with the book inside the cover, as well as the two tapes. I think it was two tapes, it might just have been one tape, with the adventure game on it, a kind of text adventure. One thing I will mention is I was looking for my microphone this morning so I could try and delete some of the engine noise, but hopefully you can still hear me. This isn't just a big waste of time. But looking at the artwork now, it's just amazing that as a kid you wouldn't have appreciated it, but the one I'm working on just now, it's like a spaceship with a cityscape behind it, and I mentioned that. But basically the graphics look rubbish. the actual computer game looks absolutely rubbish. It get great reviews. On the Zap cover, I'm looking at it and I'm going, what game is this referring to? And then there's a few bits of text below the picture which indicate the game that it's for. So I went yesterday and I looked up the game, and it turned out I had it on the Spectrum kind of emulator. For those who don't know, an emulator is where you can play old games on your Windows PC. And I booted it up and it is literally just terrible looking. But the reviews, I mean, the review was like an epic story of future worlds and trading and all sorts of imaginative ways of putting this game that looks rubbish and bringing it to life and making your imagination work with the game. And that's what you had to do back then. You didn't have these awesome graphics where your brain didn't have to have any kind of input. It had to actually work. It had to work to make the games enjoyable. Sometimes we're a wee bit too spoiled these days with graphics and that type of stuff. So coming home in the car, you'd be reading the back cover and the epic stories that they put on there to make this game sound brilliant. And you'd just be sitting there for ages, just getting excited and more excited about getting that game into the tape deck and loading it up, pressing the play and hearing the tunes of the Spectrum as it was loading up in the loading screen. And again, that is another thing, is while the game was loading, the front cover art or artwork in general used to appear graphically on the screen as it was loading. And I mean, it never looked as good as never looked as good as the front cover art, but it did look really great. And I can only imagine that in my own brain that was something I used to enjoy drawing anyway. I was never very good at drawing as a kid, other than drawing Garfield, which I mentioned, and then totally tangent off yesterday. But yeah, drawing Garfield was one of the things I used to do, and I used to be able to draw him really well. It's been a while since I tried drawing him, and then I used to try and draw him in different poses, and because you never had handheld computers as a kid. Handheld computers never existed. The Game Boy must have. I never had a Game Boy, and it was probably later in my life that the Game Boy came out. I need to look at dates and stuff. But when I went on holiday, now Dave Lawn Boys Post talks about this a lot, going on holiday to the caravan, and this is what I did as a kid. My mum and dad owned a caravan at a kind of haven. It's now a haven. The site still exists. I've not been, but it's a haven, which is a kind of chain of caravan sites in the UK. And I used to take my Garfield books there and read them. So it was Garfield and Asterix. Asterix was another one I loved. I'm trying to think what else there was. just comic books in general, like the Beano and the Dandy, and the world was a lot more visual in your face, I would say. Then you did have a lot more art in your world that you maybe didn't appreciate as a kid, but as an adult you look back and you go, actually there was a lot of artwork in and around just general life. Less so these days, because I don't think so many people buy comic books and stuff. And so I'm almost certain that's part of the reason. What am I doing? I'm that busy concentrating on YouTube. I'm driving at 50 mile an hour in fourth gear. Must have been going slow or something. Wasting petrol. The other thing that used to be around a lot was albums. Nowadays you just download your MP3s, or you download to your phone, your iPhone, your Android, Google Play, whatever it may be. But again, back in the 80s, and kind of been a revival now, is vinyl. And vinyl used to get the big covers on the vinyl. Now my brother was very much into Iron Maiden at the time, and lovely. I just squashed a further carcass into the road. Lovely. And yeah, so anyway guys, I've got a wee bit more on my journey to go. I will discuss stuff on the way home, and we'll see how these vlogs go. I'm hoping I can carry it on and maybe get the microphone set up so that the engine noise, I'm not having to shout as much, because it's less enjoyable listening to me shout and the big stupid car noises. You guys are well, and part one is finished. Cheers guys. Hi guys, back again. So I didn't get to record on the way home last night, and I thought I'll record this morning. I'm just woke up, I'm still trying to open my eyes, and I was talking about artwork and being a child and my kind of journey into art and gaming. And I'd mentioned Garfield when I was out in my forest block. I mentioned Garfield, and we used to go to Caravan Park. I don't know whether it... See, when you do vlogs, one of the problems you've got is that I don't know what I've showed you guys and what I haven't, and I know I've said that before, but that's the truth. I record vlogs and I don't upload them, and then by the time I want to upload them, they're too old and out of date. But anyway, Garfield, hating Mondays and lasagna, and I used to have rakes of Garfield books, and I think I charity shopped all of them, which is kind of sad when you think about it. Well, I guess somebody else got the use of them, hopefully. But ultimately, my childhood Garfield books are all in a shelf somewhere. Are you going to stop me? Sorry, driving. So yeah, I used to go in. Another thing I was into as a kid was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Hero Turtles, as they were called in this country. And we used to go to a static caravan. I guess in America you might call it. The static caravans are a bit more like trailers. I don't know because I've never been in a trailer park in America. But caravans we used to go to, you'd go to a local-ish, ours was about 4 hours away, park, and stay in this trailer caravan, and it usually had 3 bedrooms. And we used to go to one down in Lake District called Haven, and I used to have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sleeping bag, and because I had so many brothers and sisters, I can't remember whether I had to share a room all the time or not. Well, you usually have to share a room, and what I mean is whether I used to sleep on the couch in the living room. I don't really remember. But I used to have my wee turtle sleeping bag that I used to get inside, and I would sit and read my Garfield books, because there was, back then the TV was 4 channels, and if there was no kids programs on, you were kind of gubbed, because it would be boring politics or something that you find more interesting later in life. So I used to draw Garfield, and I used to hate lasagna, and I love lasagna, which I was over the moon about. When I started eating lasagna, I realised I liked it. I thought, this is brilliant. Garfield likes lasagna, I like lasagna, happy days. There's no overtaking there. So I used to join and what do you call them, Odie, and then Garfield, just drawing them bits of paper. So the other thing I used to do is I used to make comic strips. I used to make A4 bits of paper and cut them in and make the lines like a comic book. And I remember making a wee guy called Tipex Man. Now, as a kid you used to go to school and they would tell you to design like a superhero that would prevent pollution, or just in general a superhero, or a super robot, or something that you could use your imagination for, and all these gadgets or power-ups or crazy arms, 5 eyes so that we can see in every direction. And I had come up with this wee guy who was like a weird Mexican. I say he's Mexican because he had like a weird sombrero on his head, and he was made out of Tipex. And I think it's because I had discovered Tipex at the time and thought this would be a cool thing to draw with. Obviously whoever owned the Tipex probably wouldn't have been happy because it would have been quite an expensive pen to use and such. And I remember coming up with this elaborate story about Tipex Man. Obviously his superpower was he could erase things or people or make doors and walls because he could use his Tipex to make a door. And he's kind of a cool guy, I guess you could say. I think Tipex, the company, might have something to say about it if you were to try and trademark that, but Eraser Boy would be a better one. Can't really trademark Eraser as a word thing. I could be wrong, maybe like Coca-Cola. Whoa! Now we're off here. Sorry, you've got up to the side there. I don't know what this looks like because there's nothing I can see on my screen. I'm really hoping that it is recording. It looks like it is from the very small amount I can see, but the sun is behind me. You guys can probably see that because you're getting blinded by it. And just heading to work again Tuesday morning. What I'll do is, the plan with these was to try and get a backlog of videos that I can just consistently upload one a week and not worry too much about other things, and then if there is an art video coming in I can dump that in as well. Crazy people overtaking on 60-mile-an-hour roads, which with crazy people coming towards them, crazy speeds. It's a crazy world. We are getting to work 1 minute or 2 minutes earlier. It makes you want to go and risk your life to get to work. There's a bit of a contradiction in terms, I think. What would you risk your life for? I'd risk my life to go to work earlier. Don't worry, why not wake up a wee bit earlier and then you don't have to worry about overtaking. So that was my Italian voice, I think. Sorry, must be the morning because I've got more energy in the morning, which is good. That's why it's good doing these things in the morning. We are going really slow, to be fair. We're doing 10 mile an hour on a 60, which annoys me, but there's a big truck and I think, yeah, okay, all good for not doing 30 mile and 60 mile an hour zone. I don't like doing that. I keep falling over here. I think my stand has fell off the window. You guys have probably been falling down a wee bit at a time. I'm hoping it stays where it is. but we'll leave it as a bit of a funny thing. I was going to say blooper there. So the weekend, yeah, I was talking about my artwork and stuff. I did do a, oh, there we go, it was going to fall. You can stare at the sky for a period of time, but I can still talk as long as it doesn't rattle too much. But the artwork literally was something that I've done throughout my life and never been very good at it. It hasn't been until really I started just before watching YouTube. So it would really be 2016 that I started properly drawing, and the reason for that is that I have my own company. It is only me that works for my company. I do have my own company, and the purpose of my company is generally consulting on electrical stuff, doing design, that type of thing. But ultimately, when I knew I could open up my own company, I thought to myself, I could make apps, or I could make animations, I could do video editing as a side job, because I like electrical engineering, but ultimately I've always enjoyed more creative visual art stuff. And I realise you're looking at the sky, but I'm going to probably put some gameplay in here, or yeah, I think I'll probably put some gameplay, or there'll be something else. I keep saying I'm going to do something, I don't do it, but I've decided this time, at least for the next month, I am going to do what I said I'm going to do until some other big stupid thing happens in my life and it becomes dramatised again and life just goes off the rails, which might happen in the next few months, we'll see. But yeah, I started my company hoping that I could potentially make animations, something, and sell it to people. So through my company, I managed to buy a graphics tablet, which then gave me the capability to start doing work. And then I realised that I like drawing on these graphics tablets, and eventually just bought my own one. In the beginning, I bought it purely for work purposes, purely for doing art as a business, animations, and I started drawing that Doug the Pug app, which I've mentioned in the past. All these are sliding away and everything. Yeah, I'm really hoping that you can still hear me, otherwise there's no point in me talking. But yeah, in 2016, I'm pretty sure it was 2016, I'm pretty sure it was Christmas 2015 that I got the tablet. 2016 is when I started doing Doug the Pug, and I completed Doug the Pug in 4 months, learning to draw. At that time, I'm getting confused, I'm trying to think, was I using the mouse at the time to draw? I don't think I was, I think I was learning how to use the tablet. And Doug the Pug I was thinking, this is going to be great, I'm going to make a good bit of money from this app. It's on the level that I wanted to be to begin with, and it just didn't go anywhere. People aren't interested in paying for anything anymore. They're not interested in paying 50 pence for an app or any kind of money. You do get exceptions, but for the vast majority of people, they don't want to put their details in for their kids to use an app, so they don't want to put their details in for the kids to buy the app. But yeah, in terms of art, my journey through to what I'm doing just now, I didn't do art in general other than scribbles and Garfield portraits really for most of my life. And I look at other people and younger artists, Eve and various other people I watch on YouTube, and I think, you guys keep up with your talent. My daughter is the same. She's learning, she's way beyond my skill level at her age, and I just think keep it going. I mean, even if you did choose to go into a different career, you choose to get into a different world. If you enjoy art just now, there's a good chance when you're older, you've got a bit more money, you've got a bit more time in your hands, you'll get back into it. And I mean, I wish if I'd been doing my artwork for this many years, my talent would be much better and beyond. I think I'm decent at art, I don't think I'm brilliant at art, and I just think if you get the chance to do it as a career, it's a tough call. I stayed with a guy who was an artist for a brief period of time, not that long ago, and he just got too saturated by the commercialism of drawing, and it took away his passion for it. So it's trying to keep that passion and make money. And I think some people are good at it, and then other people just, their talent disappears because they can't deal with the commercial side. Oh, there's a slide. Oops, amazing. The phone's going everywhere. Oh, yeah. It's not. Hi guys, I'm just finishing off this vlog because my camera decided to slide far away and fell on the floor. Thankfully it was okay and didn't crack or anything like that, so in the house getting my hat on as per normal. So I thought I'd come out to the garage just to finish off. Basically what I was saying was, if you've got a talent for art, keep it going, because I wish I had been able to have the tools that my kids have got. And I guess that's what older people say a lot of the time. Oh, if I had this and had that back in the day, I would have did this, that and the next thing, and then they don't, or you don't. But anyway, if you're out there and you're doing artwork, I would encourage you to stick at it, even if you don't make it your main profession, because it can be a very difficult profession to do. And I was staying with that guy, and I think he did maybe work for Disney, and maybe did some work for other companies, but he showed me his portfolio, and he just said he had lost his passion for drawing, because I guess because when you get into these situations, you're constrained by what your manager wants drawn, you're constrained by what the art style is, and you don't have control over what you're drawing, and you don't have that freedom. And I get that. I mean, I get that in my own work, in electrical stuff. I would like to do this, that and the next thing, but I can't because budgets stop me, or somebody's got a different idea from the one I've got. But anyway, I said I would keep up these vlogs. It's now in the next weekend. I've been recording during the week, and what you've just watched is pretty much all of that stuck together. Some of it you can hear, some of it you can't. But I thought I'd just put it out there anyway, because that's what my channel kind of is. It's just me in front of the camera talking. Now I have moved my Zap cover forward a bit, and will be uploading that soon, hopefully. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to just chuck it out there because I'm looking for something to upload to YouTube. I don't want to do that, so I'll try and keep up the vlogs. Probably going to keep recording this weekend as well. I'm off, which is good for a few days. Got a few days off work this weekend and next weekend, which is great. And we were out in the kayaks. That was something we did yesterday. We got out in the kayaks for the first time this year, and I was hoping to record out there, but I didn't take the Hero 6 with me. The, what do you call it? It's not Hero 6, is it? No, I don't think it is. It's terrible. What do you call it? GoPro. Thank goodness for that. Anyway, cheers guys for watching. Hope you have a great weekend and a great Easter, and I hopefully will talk something more gaming in the next video. Over the next week I think I'm going to go for something more gaming. You'll have see Mikey next to the screen. I was editing and I thought I need to go and finish off this vlog out in the garage. So cheers guys, and wee Bob is out.